Guys, good morning and welcome to our Monday morning meetup. It's 9:30 local time here. Mountain, is it standard time right now? I'm not exactly sure. But I thought we haven't done this in a while, and I really like doing this, and I like to do it about once a month, and that's a chance to do our Monday morning meetup live, where we get a chance to sit down and talk about what we have coming up this week and what's happening on the ranch. The biggest point to any of this right now is the fact that we are obviously in this COVID time in our lives. Our whole nation is changing and everything is changing on how we do things. So we here at Our Wyoming Life wanted to make sure that we changed along with it. So if this is your first time here, normally up until the COVID-19 disaster or pandemic or whatever you want to call it, we were doing videos 2, maybe 3 times a week as I had time. Now, we've actually changed over. We did 30 days of 30 vlogs, which was 30 days straight. And now that we're doing weekday vlogs, which are Monday through Friday, and we post those at 7 a.m. our local time here, every day, Monday through Friday. We're coming off of a holiday weekend, so it's a great time for me to sit down and do a live Monday morning meetup. And these Monday morning meetups only happen about once a month, but it's a chance for us to talk about, like I said, what's coming up. And because we're coming off of a holiday weekend, we decided to do it live. Sometimes they're recorded, sometimes they're live. And today we get to do it live because really I wanted to spend some time with the family this weekend and do some fun stuff, which we got a chance to do. We got a chance to go to Custer State Park. We were actually over in Rapid City. We got to see Air Force One fly over. That was kind of cool. And then on Independence Day, we got a chance to hang out with some friends and some family, and it was a lot of fun. So this morning, the plan is we are going to actually get outside. We're going to take a look and see what we have going on for this week and how things are going to line out. But first I wanted to take a few questions. The biggest complaint is that these live streams end up going too long. So I thought if I would knock out some questions right off the bat, then we can do then we can get into what we're going to be looking at this week. So if you have any questions, I can see the chat. It's pretty small. You're going to see my finger slide up here every once in a while and get in the way maybe. But I'm going to try to answer a few questions here really quick. So from Mike Miller, how is the new bulls doing? Bulls are doing great. Our new bull, who if you weren't at the live stream last night, is Doof Vader. He's down there. He's trying to work his way in along with the other bulls. So they're trying to become friends, not really friends, maybe like frenemies, where they get into checking each other out and all that kind of stuff. That noise, I'm gonna introduce you to some of that noise here in just a minute. There's some noise happening right next to me, and we'll get there as well. Jarrett Schaefer, what are all your kids' names? So we have Mackenzie, who is our oldest, and Grace, and then Lincoln. So. Let's see. Let's answer a few more questions. Did you ever get that rain last night? We did, actually. If you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, I think Erin put quite a few videos. It hit about, we have a live stream that we do every single Sunday at 6 p.m. our local time. And we got done with our live stream and that everything hit about 15 minutes later. And we got quite a bit of rain out of it, about a half an inch of rain, but it came down really fast. One of the cool things is we have a weather sensor or weather station on the shop here, and it measures all kinds of crazy stuff. You can actually look it up online under I think it's under Weather Underground, if I remember right. And you can tell, it shows you how many inches per hour you're getting at a rain rate. So it was, at one point it was 10.57 inches per hour. Now, it only rained for about 15 minutes, but that was enough to get us about a half an inch of rain. We did get a little bit of hail out of it, but it wasn't too bad. So it came and went, and we were expecting another round of it to come through yesterday about 11 p.m. That one actually went around us. So we did get a little bit of rain out of it. We got a lot of rain in a little bit of time, which caused quite a bit of, not flooding, but a lot of flowing water around here, which does help the reservoirs and stuff like that. So we're thankful for any rain that we can get. Things did green up pretty well, and we had any grass that is not dead already got a nice little drink. So it's a very good time to get some rain, and we hope it continues. This is kind of a weird year, so it's been a weird one. Erin's toe is doing fine, by the way. I saw a couple comments about that. Yeah, James, the pond was getting low. It's still really low, to tell you the truth, but we have, obviously the cows aren't up here right now, so that pond is pretty much just for looks at this point. But it's getting low, and my hope was that it would actually dry up this year because I would like to go in and dig it out some. But if we can, if it stays with water in it, I'll figure out something. I know our neighbor Gary, hashtag everybody needs a Gary, he has a new toy down there. I can't remember what it's called. It's actually, oh, it's a great all. If anybody's ever heard of a great all, they were big, and I'm not even sure if this company is still in existence, but it's basically a giant excavator that goes straight out and is on a trailer, and you can use it to dig out ditches and stuff like that. Works really good for that kind of stuff. So Gary has that. So hopefully we're going to get a chance to play with that. Probably not this week on the vlog, but coming up pretty darn quick, we're going to get a chance to take a look at that. The pond has dried up, David, many times, and one of the things that is interesting about that pond, and I'm hoping I can make a video about it, is that the groundwater is really, honestly, just a few feet below that pond. When we put on our house, we have to do what's called a perk test when you do a septic system, and that's where you drill down into the ground and you have to check and see how fast water moves through the soil. That's for your septic system, so when it's draining water out, that it actually is able to do it. And yeah, Cliff, yeah, great all. And it's able to move water through the soil. Depends on what kind of soil you have, obviously how fast the water moves. So when we did the test for our house, I decided to do it down in the pasture. We were gonna put our septic system down there, keep it out of our backyard, and we drilled down about 2 feet and we hit groundwater. So the hope is, and I'm not sure how this is gonna work, but if we're able to get that pond dug down a little bit deeper, we might actually hit groundwater, which will fill up that pond and hopefully not affect any other water around here. That's another interesting thing that may happen. All right, I'm going to scroll back in some comments here. I missed some because I was yapping too long. From AJ Lewis, when are you installing the new windsock? I have to get some parts for it. It's actually, we have a windsock that's out there blowing right now in the wind. It's a little breezy this morning. And that windsock blew away at one point. And we mentioned it during the live stream. And we actually, from Kevin McHale from Georgia, he sent us an actual real life airport windsock. The thing is huge. I can actually almost stand inside this windsock. I can pull it up like for lack of better words, like a dress. And we're going to be putting that up. Unfortunately, it does require a little bit more infrastructure than than just what I have out there, which is basically like a fishing pole. The windsock is actually used, if you watch our webcam, which faces out at the pasture. You can find it on our website. We put up the windsock because everybody was like, well, I can't see how windy it is. So we have a windsock which shows people how windy it can be here in Wyoming. This morning when we do venture outside, it is about, winds blowing about 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. So we're going to experience some of that for ourselves. All right, let's see. Let me just scroll back, make sure I'm not missing any more questions. Bill, the tractor man here. Hey, Bill, how are you, man? Thanks for getting up so early. Wow. What is wrong with the 445 garden tractor? That's a damn good question. That one we need to haul into the shop here, and we got to start pulling the engine apart. I'm thinking a rod may have broken, but I'm not exactly sure. It could be a valve as well. Rain wasn't too bad last night. We got about a ½ an inch of rain. Robert, do you know how much it would cost to lease a bull for 60 days? Boy, I have no idea. That's a darn good question. I guess whatever somebody's willing to pay is what it's worth. I mean, that's kind of how the world works now, right? I mean, everybody's paying service fees so that you can actually go and eat at a restaurant because they have to clean more than they did before, which they should have been doing in the first place. But that's the end of my political rant. All right. So if you've been following along, we have harvest toasters across the way. And what that is a chance for people that RV. You can sign up on this website, and then you can come and stay on the ranch. Over the past few weeks, we've had a situation brewing over there, which had to do with a duck. I know this sounds stupid, but let me just finish. So we had a duck that had actually made her nest across the way. So we see this duck over there and she made a nest, so she would cross the highway, go back and forth across the highway. She taught some of the other ducks how to cross the highway. We knew this was not going to end well. So we actually put up a sign over there that said, warning, killer attack duck on the premises. That duck, thought somebody pulled in the yard there. That duck used to chase the RVers back into their into their RVs when they would come out at night and scare her and all that kind of good stuff. So her and her friends were crossing the highway quite a bit, and a couple of them did get hit on the highway. I did not catch the Nimrod that killed the ducks. No, I did not. I wish I would have. There was 2 ducks that were hit on the highway, and they were hit in 2 separate lanes. So whoever the jackass was that hit them actually tried to hit them. So 2 of those ducks were killed. So we figured out we had to do something. So what we did was we went and rounded up the killer attack duck, who's actually right here. This is what has been making all this noise. I'm going to flip this camera around here. Hold on. This is her and her little ducklings. Now she still has a nest. You can see we brought her eggs over, and now she has some little ones that are following her around too. So she is now in safety. She's in lockdown, I guess you could call it. We can really kind of try to keep her locked in. So this is where she's going to be for a little while. Also, we do have baby chickens as well. I don't know if these have made it into a video or not yet, but baby chicks as well that are going to be new chickens that are going to end up being part of our laying flock. Okay, so let me answer a couple more questions here. COVID-19 ducks, yeah, no doubt. She's actually not bad. We did catch her. We were able to carry her and get her in here, so she's not horrible. All right. Price of cattle coming up. They are coming up slightly. I have seen, I'm not sure about sky high prices, but I've seen some prices go up. Oh, UPS, that's who it was that pulled in the yard that I missed. What's the plan with the baby ducklings? I think Erin just has more ducks, I think. Meat birds will actually be here in August, and we're going to start that process. You guys are going to be able to see that from the ground up, and how we set up for meat chickens as well. So we are going to head out this way. We're already at 12 minutes. So how do you keep your garage clean? That's a darn good question. That's like I'm going to move here because I lost you guys. Okay, I'm back. Oh, it's bright out here. Anyway, the brush for beef cattle is maybe something that's in the work. I'm actually looking for a like a street sweeper, and like an old, like just beat up street sweeper that I can steal the brush off of and then set it up somewhere and have it on like some sort of moving mount so I can pull it around for the cows and they can scratch themselves on it. It's better than them scratching on fence posts. Excuse me. Speaking of fence posts, excuse the wind out here as we move out here. This is going to be our big project for the week, and our week is going to kind of be focused around, I'm going to get over here and get out of the wind a little bit. Our week is going to be focused around kind of recycling here on the ranch. And you've seen us obviously with the new AeroQuip system, which is right here. But so the new air, I'm going to get out of the wind. Oh, but so the new air, I'm going to get out of the wind. Oh, that's better. Okay, the new AeroQuip system, which is right behind me here. We are going to be, obviously we took out the old corral system, so we want to recycle everything that we can. So I actually have recycling within recycling planned, and one of the things that we're going to be doing is actually fixing, since we've got this all fixed up and this is all brand new and nice and pretty and all that good stuff, we are now going to move back into our other corral systems, which is some of the existing stuff. Now some of this has already been replaced, like these boards, they may need painting and we may need to go through and fix some stuff here. There is some broken boards and stuff, but what we have is a lot of this older infrastructure down in here with these older style, I don't even know what they really are, and they've been just getting repaired for years. You can see them right along here, this whole fence. We're going to replace all of this with recycled wood from the old corral system, and then the nice thing about it is we're actually going to recycle this wood into something for Ranch Roundup. Ranch Roundup is coming up in September, if you haven't heard about it, which I'm sure you probably have, but it's coming up in September over Labor Day weekend, I do believe. And we're going to get back into a wind block here. And it's coming up. So we are going to be taking a lot of this stuff and recycling it into the the stage, all that kind of stuff for for Ranch Roundup. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're working with some really cool sponsors, including Michelin, Aeroquip, Coke, Beckert is in on it, and we're going to have some cool stuff set up for Ranch Roundup. So if you are planning on coming, tickets are going fast, by the way. Our VIP tickets are over half sold out. VIP tickets include a trip down to take a look at the cows and kind of an extra day on Sunday when we can take everybody, and we're only selling 50 of those tickets. So that's pretty much what our main focus is going to be this week, is recycling a lot of wood, getting a lot of fence stuff done. Also, I want to do some work for the harvest hosts on that side. So we're going to be putting a picnic table over there, a couple other suggestions that you guys had when we talked about the harvest hosters in the videos not too long ago. And we can get some of that stuff built up over there as well. So it's going to be an interesting week here on the ranch as we really do dive into trying to make the most of what we have. And that's what this year is going to be all about. Obviously, we do not have hay this year. I think I can stay in the windbreak here. I'm running a little long. I promised people I wouldn't go over 15 minutes, but the hell with them. We're going to go over here really quick, and we're going to take a look at a hayfield, because this year is going to be all about making the most of what you have. And the hay obviously is horrible this year. We did not receive the rain that we needed to at the right time. Technically, even though we had a half an inch of rain last night, we're still only at about 3.5, maybe 4 inches of rain for the entire year, which still puts us into a drought set type situation. And you can see the grass out here. This is actually, believe it or not, a hay field some years. This year it is not. Obviously you can see that the grass is only about a foot or so tall. It's very patchy. We had all kinds of problems. So we're not going to be cutting grass at all this year, which then definitely leads into that, working with what you have. And that's what this entire year is going to be about. So, well, at least for the next few months, until we figure out what we're doing, we figure out how to do this. So we're going to be doing quite a bit of recycling. We're going to be working with solar. I've got some plans with some solar stuff, because we're going to be keeping cows on pasture longer in the fall, which means we're going to have to deal with frozen water. And we're going to be dealing with some interesting and slightly innovative ways to keep water from freezing. And that includes everything from propane tank heaters to solar power to maybe even wind power, if we can figure out how to do it. I've got plans to actually build a solar system that's going to be on a trailer that we can move from well to well, or from tank to tank, to try to keep things as thawed as possible. And how well it works, I really have no idea. It's going to be definitely some engineering on the fly. So this is our plan for this week. I hope you guys enjoy coming along for these Monday morning meetups. We try to do them at least once, twice a month. Live at least happens probably once a month. Some people love it, some people hate it, so we try to make sure everybody's happy. And we'll get a chance also this week to go down and check out the cows, see how they're doing. A little bit of everything, but I wanted to give you guys kind of an update on what we have going on as we prepare for even get everybody ready for summer here on the ranch. Hard to believe, but here it is. It's finally summer, and it actually died down a little bit. That's nice. We're gonna head back to the shop. I'm gonna answer a few more questions, and then we'll be able to wrap things up. So, whew. Chicken. Hey, that's our rooster, by the way. We did have 2 roosters. I don't know if you can see him back there. Where's he at? There he is. We did have 2 roosters. We're down to 1 now. I'm not sure what happened to the other one, but they were fighting like crazy. So, which means now that we're down to 1 rooster, before too long, we're going to be down to 0 roosters, because roosters do get an attitude after a while. And if you've watched for years, you know that they start attacking me at some point. So that's usually when they end up going bye-bye. All right, I'm going to sneak back in here where I can actually see the screen. There we go. When will bottle calves join the main herd? That's a good question. I honestly haven't figured that one out yet. They are starting to eat grass already, and they are getting weaned off. So it's a matter of, when they're ready. Hey, there's Mama Duck. Pigs are doing great. Jesus, the dang pigs. This morning, I actually had an issue with the pigs. There were 7 of them missing this morning, and I went out and we had harvest toasters here. So every time we have harvest toasters every single morning, we do a little tour. They join me for morning chores. And so we went out to the pigs, and of course 7 pigs were missing. Couldn't find them anywhere. Wandered all over the place. I called Erin. She was over working at the high tunnel. And I said, hey, are there pigs over there? And she said, nope. And so I ended up finding them. And they weren't too far actually from the other pigs. They were in the barn. But yeah, it's those pigs. They're always a trip. All right, a few more questions here, and then I'll get out of your guys' hair. How long is the duck in lockdown? It's really not so much the duck. It's more for the ducklings, right? So once the ducklings are big enough to get out and move around, she'll be able to go with them. And the hope is that the big problem here is that we have 2 basic flocks of ducks, and her flock ended up getting killed. So we want her to build up her own flock. That's kind of the whole point. So we're going to make sure that she really bonds with these ducklings and they're able to hang out with her. So I'm scrolling back through. Sorry if I bumped the camera. Let's see. Cows will be going in the hay fields, that's for sure. We do have some fencing and stuff to do in the hay fields because they're not set up for grazing. So we're going to be basically transforming hay fields into pastures in some cases. Not that it will stay pasture, but we want to make sure that we have that ability. Maintaining bulls cheaper than artificial insemination. Honestly, I've done the math. It's kind of a wash either way. A little bit of rain, which made some puddles. That's pretty much put a sign up on the road, caution. There's a funny story, caution duck crossing. Not that it would slow people down, but we have a lot of mule deer in this area, and I actually got into an argument with a guy at the highway department a few years ago because I said I need somebody to come out and put up a sign that says, deer crossing, and I said I can tell you where to put the sign. And the pigs, I was just reading the word pigs, the deer will cross at the sign. I know exactly where they cross the highway, where they like to cross, and I said they will cross right there. And still did not put up a sign, and the highway all the time. So it's just one of those things. Are you gonna make a video about the horses? Yeah, I think so at some point. Actually, between you, me, and the fence post, Mackenzie started riding lessons this month, and she has riding lessons every Friday. So entire life, that Mackenzie might be the one to do the first horse video. We'll see. About how much money does it cost to buy hay? Depends on where it's coming from. Hay is not overly expensive. It's the trucking that kills you. Let's see. Any electric fences? No, we don't have electric fence ranch. That an electric fence would be ridiculous. Bill the Tractor Man has some great horse content. Shameless plug for Bill the Tractor Man. Go check out his channel. Why not? And check out horses over there. Are your kids doing 4-H? Kenzie is old enough. We actually had them signed up for 4-H this year, but the COVID crap kind of shot the hell out of that. So they ended up not doing it, and hopefully we'll be able to pick that stuff up again. So hopefully that's a possibility here in the future. So that's pretty much it for me this morning, guys. I've got to get to work. Erin's got a list that's super long. We'll see how much I get to today. The project list, by the way, and somebody mentioned the project list is blank. It's actually, I couldn't find a black marker, so I had green. And while Matt was here, Matt went through and actually made us new signage for the project list. So we're going to actually be redoing the project list and making that. I'm going to touch on wells and irrigation really quick because I get this question all the time. We've mentioned it in videos, but water irrigation is controlled by the state in Wyoming. Anything over an acre has to be approved by the state. And we figured this out last night, in order to water or irrigate 50 acres on the ranch would be over 1 million gallons of water per week. That is a ton of water that the state of Wyoming is not going to allow us to pump out, especially during droughts. We don't have rivers and stuff, so we're not pumping out of rivers, we're pumping out of aquifers, and if you're doing that, then people aren't getting water to their houses, obviously. So it's a very, very touchy situation when it comes to irrigation around here. We're dryland farming, that's what it is. I mean, you can't make one thing into something. Much, guys. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you guys had a good weekend too. That is a lot of water. In fact, actually last night we figured it out because 1 inch of rain over an acre is 27,000 gallons of water. A little bit more than that actually. It's 650 bathtubs full of water for as much 1 inch of rain on 1 acre. So it kind of gives you an idea. I've got to do a video about it. Erin really wants to do a video where she gets a chance to address all the you should haves and you need tos and all that kind of stuff. So maybe. There we go. I've actually been working for a few hours already, but it's nice to take a little break and hang out with you guys for a few minutes. And we'll see you tomorrow morning with a brand new video. We'll probably be working on those fences. We'll probably be tearing fences down and talking more about what the plan is there with that recycled wood, not only the wood that's coming out of the old corral system, but also during Ranch Roundup to make things a little bit more fun. So thanks guys very much. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time right here on our Wyoming